Right then, this is a walk around video, and this is for a stunning looking car. This is a Honda Civic 1.6 SR diesel Tourer, or estate in any other language. Finished in white with full black leather interior, and obviously the facelift model with this new style front end. Looks absolutely fantastic and is in beautiful condition. Front of the car, lights and lenses completely clear and intact. Bumper's really clean, as is a bonnet with only the odd one or two very light stone chips. The car's done 67,000 miles, so it's going to have a couple, obviously. Near side of the car, panel works absolutely beautifully clean, no indentations, front wing unmarked. Near side front alloy in lovely condition as well, with these really fabulous looking alloys on the SRs. And then the panel work on the side's absolutely fantastic. Alloy on the side again, absolutely super. Sorry about that, local Labrador puppy just jumped up on me. Come around the back of the car, again all wonderfully clean. And around the offside, the driver's side of the car, again the panel looks absolutely superb, wonderfully clean again. Offside rear alloy, really good. Just a couple of light marks right on the top of those two top spokes there, but certainly doesn't detract from the car. And the remaining panel looks absolutely beautiful. Final alloy again wonderful as well. Worth pointing out, full set of Michelin tyres all around on the car as well, by the way, which is obviously a really good sign of ownership, as is the full Honda history that this car comes with. Coming to the back of the car, absolutely cavernous and quite beautifully finished as well. It's in beautiful condition back here. I see someone's paid the extra money and paid for a space saver wheel to go into this one rather than the usual inflation kit. Coming to the back now, big wide opening rear doors, virtually 90 degrees, amazing. Loads of rear leg room, and leatherwork in the back looks absolutely as new. It looks factory fresh, it's amazing. Front passenger door card, as with all the others, in lovely condition, including little recesses. Footwell areas again, absolutely unmarked, and front passenger seat there, again, just looks absolutely as new. Finally just come to the driver's door card, which looks pristine, as do all the others. And then driver's seat, again, it's just amazing how well they make these cars, Honda, because that looks absolutely factory fresh. So sat inside the car now, engine's running through this section so the dashboard can be seen illuminated. The dashboard looks absolutely as new. You see their sat nav working exactly as it should. Pop the car into reverse. Get that lovely clear gridded parking camera as well, but it is in beautiful condition in here, as is often the case. Video just won't do it justice at all. Just to come across here, hopefully the wire doesn't snag, and then come down. I hope you can see that, 67,976 miles, and there are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. And that's the view you get as a driver. It looks absolutely fantastic in this dashboard here. It really does. Say, in just wonderful condition. Just to quickly show you, owner's manual pack, and very importantly, lock and wheel nut key are both here and present with the car. So finally, just to come under the engine bay, which has in all cases with Honda is quite beautifully laid out. And these are superb engines, they really are. Right then, this is a road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.6 SR diesel. This car's registered SJ16ONX, and mileage at the start of the road test is 67,971 miles. The reason we do the videos is essentially so that anyone that's looking at this car in an advert online actually gets to see that car in operation. It also gives us an opportunity to feedback any issues that might manifest itself whilst test driving the vehicle, because we know just how frustrating it is to travel vast distances to go and see a car, only to get there and drive it and find out it's got a fault which you clearly should have been told about. We've done it ourselves. We know exactly. You said it's the sorry, got completely distracted by something going on in the field over there. Cars can look great in adverts and photographs. But if there's warning lights on, or something's sort of clunking or something wrong whilst driving the vehicle, it's just best to know. Certainly in our opinion, anyway. The car itself, as you'll know from the walk around video and the advert text, has been very, very well maintained, and it does feel like it. Absolutely, immediately, it feels very, very solid, and pretty much as new to drive in that sense. Engine starts absolutely instantly, as they always do, or should do rather. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car, but it's just really the engines themselves are just fabulous units to use day in, day out. It's typically smooth and quiet, as you'd expect from a Honda engine. They've got legendary reliability and longevity, certainly the best in class. But it's just a nice engine, as I said, just to use, because the power delivery is really nice. It's spread across quite a lot of the rev range, and they give amazing real world economy, I call it, because what manufacturers claim and what you get on the road can be very, very different. But these, you can achieve very high economy figures, and I've got one myself, so I know exactly what they're capable of, just driven normally without having to be over careful with the way you drive them. Engine then feeds through clutch into gearbox. Clutch is perfect, bite point's exactly where it should be on the pedal travel, and it's light and smooth in operation. Gearbox, which I've always said on the Civics, is absolutely brilliant. And this is no different, because it feels like it's hardly been used at all. Gear changes are just got a lovely mechanical feel to them, which is remarkable because they're not actually connected mechanically to the gearbox underneath. It's cables, is the case with most modern front-wheel drive cars. But what they're giving you is a lovely feeling linkage. It feels expensive, it feels beautifully engineered, and it's just a joy to use. Steering on the car, again, it can't feel anywhere in it. Track's absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at all at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. But it's just lovely again on the road. It's got a kind of a beautiful weighting to it, so it's not that horrible overlight steering you get on some cars. It's got a kind of a real sense of weight to it. Very positive, very accurate and precise, and perfectly tuned to the chassis of the vehicle, because the chassis itself is quite a dynamic chassis. It gives you it's quite an agile car to drive. It likes going through the corners, really nicely damped, but it keeps up with the steering, if you know what I mean. The steering is because it's quite direct. If the car was got a sloppy and floppy, it would make for an interesting mixture, to say the least. But this is fantastic. These do run these dampers on the back, which can be changed. You can put a little button down here, so I press there. I'm now in normal mode, and then I'm in comfort mode. Comfort does feel softer. You can feel it. It rides really nicely. Can't feel much of a difference between that and the normal mode, but dynamic is firmer. You can definitely feel that, and particularly helpful actually if you've got some sort of heavy loads in the back of the car. It stops the car sort of moving around, as anything with a lot of weight in the back of the car would do. But in the comfort mode, with normal use, it's a very, very comfortable car. What I'm looking for on the road tests is any signs of any mechanical noises coming from underneath the vehicle, and there's nothing at all. It's absolutely superb. You'll hear it hitting a bump, but no kind of chatterings or knocking noises at all. Brakes on the car, just going to give them a bit of a shove. I did this earlier, so I'm not going to go mad, but basically it's a really, really solid brake pedal. Nice and powerful. There's no pulsing or vibrations that come back through the brake pedal at all. It pulls it up nice and straight. It doesn't sort of veer sort of violently left or right at all. Looking around inside these vehicles, I mean, I've always loved this dashboard, and I'm terribly biased, so I make no apologies for that. The interior, what the videos cannot get over, is just the build quality. I mean, this quite often estate cars, because of the way they're used and the open architecture of the vehicle, can be sort of rattle boxes, and certain competitors have been a bit like that. There's not a hint of a squeak or a rattle from anywhere inside the car. It is beautifully, beautifully made. and as I say, as with, you know, it is real world build quality, because this is after many years on the road with a few thousand miles on the clock, and it still feels like new to drive. It's an amazingly well made car. It also happens to be a fantastic place to sit and drive a car. This dashboard is just wonderful, because it's not only brilliant to look at and interesting in a world of bland, normal, just, you know, variations on the same theme style dashboards. This has got a sense of, you know, style to it, but it works beautifully. Sat nav, as you can see there, works exactly as it should. Big screen, easy touch screen, very easy to use. Dual zone climate control, so you can have different temperatures side to side. And the air conditioning pumps out lovely cold air. That was checked earlier as well. But it's also the quality of the switchgear is what is absolutely superb on the car. Every button you press has that really high quality actuation to it. You know, you can just know that the switches are going to feel the same in another 100,000 miles. It'll just, they have that really high quality Japanese feel to them. Wonderfully done. And then this, my favourite part of the dashboard, this two-tier design. So basically what Honda have done is put on the top there all the information that you're going to look at on a more regular basis, so things like your radio, your climate control readouts down there, as well as up here. But my best bit is this high level speedo. It just means basically you can look at cars, pedestrians, whatever ahead of you, but at all times keep your eye on your speed without taking your eyes off the road for a millisecond. It's absolute genius. Down below that, more conventional pod of 3 dials, big rev counter, temperature gauge, which is running at third, by the way, which is exactly what it should be on a Honda car, and then fuel gauge on the right hand side. You do have an economy button, press that there. The blue lights either side of the speedo, if you're driving economically, will just subtly change to green. If I put my foot down again, you see it changes back to blue, and it's really subtle. It's not kind of in your face, and it works really, really well. It's very, very nicely done, and it does make a difference, because it does change sort of throttle response slightly in the air conditioning modes as well, by all accounts. And on longer trips, I've, you know, gained sort of 2 or 3 miles per gallon. So it's not just a gimmick; it is there for a good reason. Steering wheel, lovely thick rimmed, sporty wheel, feels as new in hand, as does the whole of the interior of the car. It just feels fantastic in here. As I said at the start of the video, the point is obviously to pick up any issues that might be that would manifest themselves while driving the vehicle. There's nothing at all. It drives absolutely beautifully, and I'm not giving it an ounce of allowance for age or mileage, so it's not been given anything there. It just drives as new, as cliched as it sounds. Having said that, if you've got any questions about the car, don't hesitate, do give us a call.